Abhora.
Abhora. Wait, where is she on here? Wait, no. There she is.
Abhora. Well, hello, Uglies, and welcome to the Cup Pod, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast Network, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come here first to quench your thirst. I'm Brook, and I'm passionate about pop culture, and this was a very serious episode of Dragula, which is why I am trying to cut the tension early. While you're here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the link below to buy your merch, including but not limited to cup mug at laundrycreations.etsy.com. Ow. I was drinking water, and I would still be drinking water if McDonald's would give me a large cup instead of a medium. Those hags.
And didn't you say they gave you more ice?
They did. I asked for light ice, and they gave me an above average amount of ice. Unacceptable, McDonald's. Do better.
But did you shake that ice? Shout out to Corey King.
Shout out to Corey King. Shout out to Corey too. Shout out to Corey, etc. There's so many at this point that I could not even attempt to name every single Corey.
Oh, I say that because if you remember, she dressed up as a Boulet brother for Halloween. So
of course.
So yeah. Anyways, I am Brandon, your professional finger of Constant Dragon video games. Today, I am drinking some sparkling water, raspberry nectarine from Waterloo. And I was like, you know what? I haven't had this in a while, so let's just do it.
Nice. And I'm Mike. I'm your buff bodybuilding correspondent down in Dallas, Texas. I put the him and himbo and the gay in video game. And I am in my Texan roots. I'm having a Dr. Pepper Zero and water. I'm very
quick note. That might be a zero sugar Dr. Pepper, but we are still fighting the Coke Zero regime. Thank you, Mike.
No.
Well, I feel attacked.
Hello, I'm Micha, Persian correspondent, and as it's quite a sleepless night for me, I'm drinking no trigger warning, just water.
Well, everybody, we're talking about episode 4 of season 2 of Dragula Titans today. And normally we go straight into everything, just our general thoughts and feelings before we get into the nitty gritty. However, we're going to take a quick moment and we're going to take the banner off. We want to indicate to you all this is a very serious thing that we're discussing. This episode gets into some very heavy shit. We are going to be talking about mental health multiple times during this episode. Not because we want to. Quite frankly, I would wager that at least 3 out of 4 of us would rather not talk about this on the podcast ever. But it is something we do have to touch on because it is a very large part of not only this episode, but this season. So if any of the topics, any topic adjacent to mental health is triggering for you, I would personally recommend you check out a different video. We have plenty of other coverage on the channel. And I will also say, I'm kind of surprised they didn't put a trigger warning before this episode themselves. There was a lot of things that could have potentially upset a lot of people. And it's going to be throughout the episode. It is not just going to be one spot where we could say, hey, skip this if you don't want to hear about this. It's the entire episode from a variety of sources. So with that, if any of that could be upsetting for you, I do recommend you don't watch this video as much as we would love to have you. There are so many other videos on this channel, you could go find one that might be entertaining for you, or if you just want to look at coverage elsewhere, we understand. So with that, this episode, we're coming off the permadeath of Frankie Doom and the Staircase of Souls droppage of Jade. R.I.P. Jade Jolie. We love you. Big fan. But I'm happy Disasterina is still here. Who else is happy Disasterina is still here?
Yes. I was so scared. I was so scared.
I'm right there with you because Jade that's somebody that you could see the Boulets are like, oh, she's bringing TV. So we would keep her around and they would just overlook Disasterina, how great she's been doing all season and this episode. We'll get into it, but I think she's great
this is her best episode so far, so thank God she's here. Yeah, I'm so
Mhm.
glad.
I personally enjoyed her a little bit more in Monsters of Rock, but I get where you're coming from, Micha. I think I'm very happy Disasterina is still here. But we don't even get to talk about Jade because we go right into the bullshit the second we get in. So first off, I want to touch on this Boulet message a little bit because the Boulet intro, because one of the lines that stick out to me is, "Are you ready to talk about something that you don't do or practice, drag?" And I'm like,
they clocked the fandom.
They
clocked. I mean, let's be real. Yeah, we got clocked. Not just us, but most other drag review channels clocked. But you know what? Fair play. I respect the hustle.
I laughed. That was hilarious.
It was
So I was like, oh, good. This is directed at me.
Mhm.
But then we also had to talk about them beginning to start talking about Dollya's statements not being accurate. Now, at first, I thought this was going to be the only time they acknowledged it in this episode. No. But long story short, we're going to touch on this a lot more later. So just know that the Boulets are already telling us Dolly is not telling entirely the truth. So yeah, great way to start the episode that didn't worry me at all.
And also they spoiled the hospitalization just there in their message. See,
They
by the
also
end.
mentioned that someone's going to get hospitalized in this episode. And the entire time I'm like, I think I have a feeling it's gonna be completely unrelated to everything else. And they're gonna make us think it's related to this, but in reality it has nothing to do with it. And yeah, entirely correct.
So I guess in a sense, but even though it wasn't really stated as much, this like beginning message was kind of the like trigger warning S type, I guess. But we still should have gotten it in the beginning.
There should have been a message at the beginning of the episode that was like a text splash of like warning, viewer discretion is advised. That's all you could have said. Viewer discretion is advised due to discussion of blah 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 blah. That's all they would have had to say. I wish they would have, but I mean I understand why they didn't. We're 4 episodes in and it's been a very large topic across the season, not even just this episode. So maybe they felt like just because it ramped up a bit, they may not have to, but.
And it was new information that they gave when they were talking about, and people are saying that Dollya is going to production and trying to snitch on people, quote unquote, snitch on people. And then I think like Swantila says, which she is, like, you know, she's making up stuff. And so that was new information because until then it was just kind of a she said kind of situation in the Cauldron. But it was if the hosts are coming out and saying that this is happening, this is what the show is going to show us as what is happening. So I think also we need to preface this by saying this is an edited product. The Boulets are editing this in a way to make the Boulets look the best in the situation. So I don't want to I don't think we want anybody to feel like they're not valid and how they felt about a situation. We're just commenting on an edited product here.
Importantly, something I was going to mention when we started talking about the mess, like Mike said, this is an edited product. Okay. Do we know anything specifically that went on other than what is shown to us on this screen? No. All we can do is make assumptions based off of what we see and what other people are saying. So please take that and know that as we begin to discuss some of these heavier topics that happen in this episode, which we're going to start with at the very beginning of the episode, because dear Lord, they can't give us 5 minutes break on this season. So we come into the lab. It's the next day. Most people are in high spirits. Most people are happy. And then Dollya is literally sitting at a different table. Like, the whole group is here, and Dollya is off on her own, not near anybody, looking very sad and lonely. And I laugh because it's awkward and it's my coping mechanism.
Okay, the camera work in this episode. Props to the cameraman. They a lot of times they were like panning the camera, and someone is just off camera, and it makes me laugh. And this is the first of many times in this episode that happened.
And it's I can't tell how they angled it correctly, but the fact that they just showed Dollya just
Yeah.
And we get
I was just like, oh, we're going there now. I was just
yes,
like,
we get this fantastic confessional from both Jaharia and Disasterina. First of all, Jaharia is going, well, everybody hates Dollya, and then Disasterina being, you might think that we are not being just to her, but no, it's karma. She brought it on herself. It's your karma. So,
Okay, hearing it from Disasterina was like, oh wow,
Yeah.
like everybody does not
that's a
like
bullet
her.
to your
honestly, best confessional of the entire episode.
I
It
would
made me
say
laugh.
people were talking about. People haven't really been talking about it, but Disasterina in the confessional, not only just this episode, but so far this season, whenever they let her do it, has been very entertaining.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we get this moment from Jaharia where she's like, everybody hates her. And I don't say that as like a joke. I mean, quite literally, everyone hates her except for Evah. And we're seeing that struggle between Evah, who wants to do well in this competition, and Evah, who wants to be there and support her friend, even if she's done some stupid bullshit. And it seems like Evah that wants to win the competition won out in the end for Evah, because she basically says, I love you, I respect you, I'm not getting involved in this, and I'm not going to be here for you right now because I want to win and focus on myself. I'm not getting involved. Kind of surprised me a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
It felt very preemptive. It felt very before anything came to a head with Dollya. It was kind of like, even before like the mess hit the fan, was just like, I'm not helping you. I'm out. Deuces. And then was just like left her. Like, okay, bye.
I actually think Eva kind of learned the lesson from Titans 1, because there she would get involved even if she said to Abhora, I see you, but I'm here for you, but also I want to focus on the competition, but still I'm distracted. That ultimately led Eva to get back to her head as she was like on season 3, although she had a challenge win late in the game. But here it was like, no. Yeah, I've learned my lesson.
I think that's a little different though, because isn't Abhora Eva's drag daughter?
Is she though?
I think she is. They
They're
never
also
mentioned it. She's one of them is their drag daughter, and
The-
they just never brought up that in the show. I don't know why.
But I also was kind of confused because Dollya never before this very like Eva's preemptive speech and her confessional never before said that Eva is her best friend, like out of all. So it kind of caught me off guard.
Well, when no one else is your friend in the competition, you have one, they arbitrarily become your best friend.
Best friend.
Yeah.
No shade. And again, just speaking on what we have seen. But then we get that congratulations moment to JK. It's very nice. I'm very happy myself. But Cynthia, because she's Cynthia, also, fun fact, thank you for subscribing to the podcast last week, Cynthia. I'm gagged. I'm gooped, gagged, and betrayed.
Yeah.
She also
Yes.
followed me on TikTok. I'm losing my mind.
Oh,
Work it. Yes, work it.
right before Cynthia makes the mention, Zava does apologize for her actions for being in the bottom. I will say this is, I think, the second time that Zava has apologized for how she's acted while she's in the bottom, but it was nice of her to do that.
Well,
Yep.
once per season. That's fine.
Hey, don't forget either. There will be more apologies from Zavaleta in this episode.
To be fair, I don't think she should have been in the bottom last week. So,
Agreed.
Okay.
Fully. I think that we discussed it last week.
Move on.
The groom look 8. Don't care about the critiques. It was lovely. Which that was the only one they had a problem with, just for the record. That's why I'm not bringing up the bride. They only had a problem with the groom. I like the groom. Whatever. But we do get this moment. Cynthia asks about what's going on between Jay and Zavaleta. And Jay is like, nope, we're not doing this here. We're not bringing him into this. He's not here. He didn't sign a contract. We're not doing this. Zava doesn't give a fuck. And it quickly goes to the first of many dramatic moments this week that escalates into uncomfortable territory for me. Where they're sparring back and forth. Apparently, Zavaleta was in a relationship with someone. The relationship was not healthy for either of them. Zavaleta broke up with this person, and that person is now dating JK, at least at time of filming, was dating JK. And it escalates, and it escalates. Zava says she's done. Call my mom. I'm going home. I'm leaving. Walks out the room. We finally get the moment from the trailer, which Mike has made their header today, of call the bitch's mom. In context, I hate saying that I laughed. I did laugh. I can't lie.
Okay, it was a funny clapback. Okay, despite the situation, it was a funny clapback. I feel bad that it is in context of a breakdown for Zavaleta because it was really hard to see her in that state. You can continue to recap it, but like it was hard to see that because you could genuinely tell this was a traumatic, like emotionally traumatic topic for her.
Yeah. Zava leaves the room. Jay, and I will say this: Jay was very chill this entire time. Zava was not. And again, understandable. I get it. I feel you. I have been there. Jay's like trying to explain what happened. Zava yells off camera for them to shut the fuck up, which again completely caught me off guard. Zava then, I don't want to say storms, but I can't think of a better word than that. Storms outside, and eventually calms herself down by hugging a tree. Now, for the record, I don't like the fact that they got this on camera. I don't. And I understand why. It is reality TV. They're going to try to make the most of a juicy, dramatic moment, what have you. This was a panic attack, and Zavaleta confirmed that in the episode. Give them some space, please. Special shout-outs to Cynthia Doll, who was the only person who went outside to check on Zavaleta.
Yes.
And bless us with the best confessional ever about, oh my gosh, she's hugging a tree. I know I'm surrounded by creative and talented people. Something of sorts, which was genius.
Yeah. But they kind of wrap it up with Jay saying, look, we're not talking about this right now. We can talk about it later, but not on camera. I don't want to do this right now. And that's kind of where we're at. Zava comes back inside. Eva's about to make a comment of like, that was really brave and strong of you, and then Boulets.
Yeah, and also, I loved during the brief moment of Zava's absence, or maybe not so brief. Priscilla congratulated JK with a win in the best way possible. It's just.
My other favorite part was when Sigourney and Cynthia were hugging because, like, again, I would have been scared in that moment because, like, I was like full on Sigourney, like, wait, like literally when like Zava was yelling, I was just like, wait, is this happening right now? Like, I would have been scared.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that alarm was so alarming. Like it was mid conversation, and I took that as like production was like, we are way off schedule. We have got to get going today because I'm sure this outburst like pushed them way back on their schedule for the day.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I really do think under normal circumstances they would have let Evah at least say the comment, but they're like, nope, everybody's here, we're good, go. So we flash over to the big flat screen in the lab, and we find out it's the return of the Nosferatu beach party from season 4. Yay!
Yay!
So wait, I wanted to say that with you, Brooke. We got to say it again.
Oh, you're right. 3, 2, 1.
Nosferatu beach party. They didn't even say it in unison the second time. It was really weird.
It's okay. It's fine.
I love their banter. As a couple. It's very cute.
It's phenomenal. Yeah.
They're
each season, yeah, it's better and better with each season, literally.
Yeah. So Nosferatu beach party, famously from season 4. This is a very infamous challenge on season 4 due to the outcome. Go watch season 4. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Just go watch season 4. But
a lot of crap. Sorry, that was a quotation.
The Nosferatu Beach Party in season 4. Just go watch season 4 of Dragula. Go specifically episode 2 of season 4 of Dragula. Go have fun.
One of the best episodes in the franchise. Yeah,
a top 5 episode of Dragula, in my personal opinion.
Absolutely.
But we also get told that not only is that coming back, but a Fright feat themed around it is coming back. The Vampire Feast. The look on Sigourney's face.
Yeah. Oh no.
Priceless.
She is not here for these Fright feats.
She's not here for anything which involves consuming, because she said it in episode 1, I don't want to eat. Shit, literally.
Well, I think even Exterminations, like I think any of the gross stuff, she's just like, I did that season 4. I am so done. And the Boulets are like, oh no. You're going to do a lot of that.
Well, it's the Vampire Feast Fright feat, where they have to eat an entire clove of garlic. And then, because that's not enough on its own, they also have to drink a mug. And I don't mean like a cup mug. I mean like a mug size, like a big beer mug.
Jar.
It's like a pitcher.
Chalice. Yeah.
It's big. Of pig's blood.
So, like in perspective, like as tall as like
it's like a double-sized cup mug, maybe. It's like a double-sized cup mug. It's a rather large mug.
It's like what you would get beer at a pub in like the big little like glasses.
Yeah. One small note about this: I clocked it on season 4. They mentioned that pig's blood was ethically sourced, and this time they didn't mention it. So.
Good point. Good
point. We don't have the 2 seconds it would take to say the phrase.
No time for ethics this episode.
This is generally the theme of this episode.
No time for ethics is the theme of this season of Dragula. What do you mean?
Yes. We don't have time for ethics. There's too much to cover.
Ethics? Who's she? Never heard of her.
Don't know her.
Exactly. Vomit, drama, no ethics.
Apologies to this man, but I could walk down the street past this man. Wouldn't know a thing. So we do know Zavaleta did win this Fright feat on season 4. So Zava's like, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna win. And I will say, Zava is the only person that had a strategy with the clove of garlic of chucking it on the ground, letting it break apart, and then trying to eat the smaller pieces instead of literally going with a big piece of garlic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally took the entire bulb and then just ate the cloves like that.
I will say it became a buzzer beater. So I think that her trying to like smash it and then collect it, I think might have actually hurt her in the end, because it looked like it was like seconds at the end here with her and the eventual winner.
Yes, but also that's why she choked probably.
Yeah, if you haven't
had to do the Heimlich,
I also recommend don't watch this episode of Dragula. A lot of gagging, and not the normal kind of gagging. The actual gagging. Actual gagging. A little bit of dry heaving, even. But at the end,
not the dry heaving.
I'm trying to keep it professional, but these girls need to know. And also,
I hope this show gets canceled and.
And also, of all people, Disasterina clocked that the garlic was very, very spicy, saying that not only
bad.
Yeah,
it's an entire clove of garlic.
You know, I get why the vampires may not like it now. I think it makes much more sense to me.
I think it could kill a human too.
Real. But at the end of the day, it is a very close race. But the winner of the Fright feat is JK. Now, if you watched JK during the eating Fright feats and other eating challenges on season 5, this should not surprise you whatsoever. However, it did make me very happy because that's half a point I am now closer to. So, I will take it. So JK wins the shield. He can either save himself from extermination, or he can save someone else. No power to put anybody in the bottom instead. Nope, it is you are strictly saving someone this week with this power. Cool.
And also,
we did not need more drama this week.
Can we also note, I mean, I don't blame her, but they had that one frame of Dollya just like nibbling on the garlic like she was like a hamster or something. She was doing the bare minimum. She was like, I'm not even gonna try.
I'm not trying. Yeah, she literally said that, yeah.
Also, special shout out to Vander, who came into the room dressed like a cat.
Oh my gosh. I wrote that down too.
Also,
hot puss today.
Also, another second in a row stellar confessional from Priscilla, saying just to Vander's back, hate to see you go, love to see you leave.
Yeah, I mean, true. She's just proving that if she actually did come in as a contestant, it would be over for all of these other hosts. Like it would just be
nobody else winning. They would have to do a bullshit jury twist to make sure she didn't win, just like they did on all Stars 3. Also, thank you, jury of all Stars 3, for getting us the correct winner. I appreciate it. So we then head to and JK also wins the power to determine the groups for this show. Now, importantly, the groups matter a little bit, but not a ton, really, for this particular challenge, in my opinion.
Do you think that he? Because he there already said it's going to be three groups of 3 and a pair. Do you think that he could decide like the other number of people per group?
No. I think that was told to him in advance. There's 11 of them. They want to have 4 groups, so that way each corner of the stage is like coordinated well. I think it was pretty much told in advance. And I also think that for the most part, these groups were pretty fair. JK, I stand by this, and I really do. JK put themselves with Blackberri. That's their best friend in the competition, allegedly. Yeah. So they put themselves with Blackberri. The only group I think was a little screwy was putting Sigourney and Dollya together. But who are you going to put Dollya with that's not going to be screwy?
Whoever Dollya went to, you'd be like, oh, look at them. They're putting Dollya with so-and-so, and they hate them. And I'm like, well, everybody hates them.
But yes, Dollya and Abhora especially, that's a triangle. That's a Bermuda Triangle,
basically. I will say, putting Abhora with the 3 of them was a little, I was like, okay, maybe a little bit shady. But,
3 groups of 5, yeah.
It would have been shadier if she would have put Evah, Dollya, and Sigourney together. So when she put Abhora with them, I was like, okay, this is acceptable to me. So then in our back left corner of the stage, we had Disasterina with Cynthia and Zavaleta.
And Disasterina was with Jaharia and Zava.
Oh, Jaharia and Zavaleta. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then the front of the stage was everybody else. So Cynthia, Priscilla, and Evah. Evah. Yes. Yeah, so all of the groups are getting along great. There's no drama whatsoever during this portion.
Well, we have all these dancing segments, and then we cut to Dollya, Sig, and Abhora just sitting in their chairs.
They are so over it. Sigourney is just sitting there like writing stuff down, and Abhora is just sitting there writing stuff down, and Dollya is just like.
And then,
I will give props to Abhora. She was just like, let's make this into like we're friends, and then we turn it into a fight. And I was like, yes, that's what you do when there's tension in your team. Is you turn the tension.
Said we shoved that bitch off, and then Sigourney said we shoved that bitch off a cliff, which was. Sig, I love you.
I felt like I liked Abhora's energy. I felt like Sig and Dollya just were not game for that concept. They're just like, whatever, let's just try and be friends.
Imagine if Boulets didn't save Sig the first week, so they would be the trio who jumped off a cliff together.
We showed that bitch off a bridge instead.
Off a bridge, yes. I was afraid that like how close they got. I was just like, oh, please don't fight. Please do not fight. Like, actually don't. But I was like, it seems like they were playful about it. So I was like, okay, I can deal with this. But again, it was that close.
So we get Jay and Blackberri agreeing that they're gonna go for this like 90s hip hop aesthetic with their outfits and also with the challenge because they think Nosferatu Beach Party doesn't necessarily mean we have to be like 50s. It can be its own little thing and its own energy. And again, this is something we commended JK for last week. We're going to add Blackberri into this conversation now as well. I like that they're elevating the challenge concept further than what it is at face value, which is something that I really admire the Ghoulies on Dragula for doing in the first place, because it is something that they do better than pretty much any other drag show that I've ever watched.
When I'll say my comments when we get to like the performances, but that's something that I really, really liked about their team was that it was such a different take, but felt so authentic to the challenge. So,
however, we do have to immediately go back to the Zavaleta and JK drama because it came back again. So Zava explains their side of the story to their group. Indicates that their mom is the person that calms them down when they're having, I don't want to say episodes because that's medical terminology, when they're having moments like that. We'll just say that. And that this is a very triggering subject for them. We then cut to Jay and Blackberri, and Jay is still like, nope, not doing it, not talking about it. He's not here. Nope. And this producer, poking the bear a little bit.
I think we have
to watch Unreal. Did y'all ever watch Unreal when it was on? I think it was on. It was like, I think maybe Pop aired it. It was a show that was like the producers of a Bachelor knockoff. It was like a scripted show about how manipulative and fucked up the producers on these reality shows are. Right. This may be the first time I have ever seen a producer that I was like, maybe Unreal wasn't a little bit bullshitty.
That's Unreal.
I mean, I do think at times they try to pry and they try to get the story out. I kind of respect Jay because I wrote that Jay snaps at a producer of like, this guy's not here. We're not going to talk about him when he's not here to defend himself. And I kind of understand that. I'm glad that the other monsters were kind of in agreement of that. Of like, yeah, he's not here. We shouldn't talk about it, especially when there's allegations of cheating going on. Not to say that Zavaleta was wrong or that that did not happen, but he's not there to. We know one side of the story, and we're not getting him to sell his side of the story. Especially when, I mean, I think if we dug enough, I'm sure the fans have found out exactly who this guy is if he's dating both of them. So, like, it's let's not bring him into the spotlight when he is not the subject of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure if they're going to talk about something like this, he would have had to sign an NDA as well. And like JK said, he didn't sign the contract. So where was that in mind? Also, Brook, to reference, Unreal was on Lifetime.
Lifetime, thank you so much. I watched it on Netflix. I wasn't certain, but I watched it on Netflix.
That show brought us Jeffrey Boyer Chapman, if I'm not mistaken. So
it did. It did bring us Jeffrey Boyer Chapman. That is 100% true. I curse you every day for that, Unreal.
Thanks for that.
Thank you so much for that. He was actually one of the more entertaining people on that show, unfortunately. But we should also mention that it's said a couple times, it's never fully elaborated on, but Zava says she's trying to make sure Jay doesn't look stupid on national TV and that she could say one thing that could ruin him. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It feels weird. I don't like this kind of. I'm assuming Zava means the relationship itself, but I hope it's not like I didn't get this energy, but I really hope it wasn't like a professionally, I could ruin you in one sentence. I definitely felt like it was more aimed at the relationship itself, but
it felt relationship. That's how it came off to me. And that's how I took the comment.
It still feels a bit icky, but I don't blame Zava in this situation for that. I think it might have just been the way it got edited and like the comments got edited about it.
I mean, Zava says like the one question she wants to ask Jay and doesn't even get to ask Jay. At least we didn't see in the edited product. Was just that, was he texting with him while we were still together? And so that makes me think it is more relationship focused. Also, like, you're never going to get the answer to that. I just feel like that's not really something that would ever get resolved, especially if there's like, if the allegation is that was there cheating before their relationship was done. And I think that's what Zavaleta was referring to.
Exactly. And then the producers still poked the bear enough, because to the girls, to Jaharia and Disasterina, Zava said what was like that question she wanted to address to JK. And the producer went to Jay and then asked him about the very same situation. So we kind of got it together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I do not feel the need to linger any longer. Before we go...
Attention competitors. Attention competitors. The floor show is about to begin.
And we didn't even get that part.
We didn't even get to do it, but yeah,
we did it for you.
But here we are. So as we transfer over, first off, our guest judges this week are Bonnie Aarons, who is most famously the nun from The Nun. Bonnie's been in a bunch of other stuff, though. Definitely check her out. And then, of course, Akela Cooper, returning guest judge. Bonnie's also been here before. But Akela Cooper, most notably a writer and producer. She co-created Megan, so she's got some stuff going on. She's also worked on The Nun and several other projects as well. So lovely to see them. Dragon Swan, you have won me back over with this outfit. Thank you very much. Last week was a bit of a miss for me. The week before was a bit of a miss for me because you took off the damn masks. This is lovely.
Yeah,
I love this. I think everything is almost perfect. The only thing I didn't like was the gloves were a little plain. I wish maybe if they're gargoyles, maybe have some claws or some long nails, something like that. Because they usually have long nails. That's the only thing. Minor. This is gorgeous.
Yeah, no, this was good. I love the wings. Of course, the matching hair always like never misses. I'm just like, yes.
Indeed. Great looks. Shame they had to take their wings off for critiques.
I didn't realize how big the wings were until I saw this picture, and then I'm like, yeah, they wouldn't have been able to do this.
Okay, yeah. Walking in crowd of wings. Okay, so me and Jonathan have dressed up as like dragons for like a rave or something. We had wings. Wings were a mistake. Wings were a mistake on the dance floor, so I do not blame them for taking the wings off.
Well, let's get started with our floor shows. Now, for the record, this is not just a look-based challenge. This is also a performance challenge. They are lip-syncing to Nosferatu Beach Party by the Boulets. So, as a friendly reminder, also, we are 2 for 3 on Boulet songs as the lip-syncs this season to this point. Also, this may be the most amount of lip-syncing I think I've ever done on one season of Dragula, and we're only 4 episodes in.
That's great.
Interesting.
I mean, don't blame them.
It's great.
Yeah.
I have no problems. I just think it's
keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, exactly.
I better see Illusion on the main stage next week. Okay. So, first up, Blackberri.
Are we going to teabag them?
Teabag.
Yes. T.
Okay.
T's across the board.
Yeah, I think this was my second favorite look of the week. This was hot tea. I love when Blackberri said she was going for Baps reference. This is perfectly Baps reference if you've seen that movie. The hair, it's kind of a mix of both of the main characters in that movie. I love the energy that Blackberri brought to the lip sync. Hot tea.
Absolutely. And Vampire Bat Wings bra is just like blood cherry on top. Yeah, very hot tea.
I forgot I didn't mention it, but I love the fact that she said, I'm going to just be red all over. I don't give a damn. It's going to be all red, and you're going to deal with it, and it's going to look great. Agreed.
And it was.
And killed it.
JK.
Ooh.
I liked it. I thought it was good. T.
It was fine. I wasn't like impressed by it. Like, I guess in a way, like I did like this better presented during the floor show. But like the still pictures is just like, like again, I like it better when it's like presented during the floor show. So a very like lukewarm tea.
This is kind of a slight bag for me. I think it's just a little too messy. I'm on the fence because I think the performance was really good. I do have to give it to both Blackberri and JK. I think I said this in the draft video, or that I love when you bring your own culture, your own perspective to something. And I love that they injected Black culture into their interpretation of the challenge. And that's one thing I really, really loved about what they brought. But this look is a little bit kind of messy, especially standing next to Blackberri, who was just beautiful. So slight bag for me, but it's really just because of the look. The performance was great.
I totally see where you're coming from. To quote Aurora Gosmick about Asia, before going to the floor show, you can take one thing off, but in your case, maybe 10. It's kind of given that energy. I am also not madly in love with this look, but yeah, Jay sold the hell out of the performance. We'll talk later if it was wise to use the immunity on herself, but it's still a slight T for me. But yeah, it's just the question of over accessorizing a bit.
Abhora. I'm of two minds because I really like the neck down. I think that's cute and fun and lovely. I think like that like old school like 1920s style bathing suit is such a clever idea for this challenge. But then I take a closer look and I realize it's a button up, and it wouldn't have buttoned up. It would have just been a one piece on the top, and then it would have been two pieces, but like the top part would have been its own piece of like just a regular shirt. So that kind of bugs me a tiny bit, and I really don't like the texture on the face. I specifically tried to get a close up of the prosthetic so we could get a better look at it. And again, this is the second time I've said it this season. The prosthetic's not really looking constructed well this time. So for me, I am going to be bagging this.
I mean, it's not a bad look, but at the same time, it's like it could have been much more. I mean, the prosthetics are like the face prosthetic is fine. It's just like for me, the ears were just like, but overall, this unfortunately was a bag.
I'm actually going to give this a slight T. I agree with you, Brooke. I love the aesthetic of it. It actually kind of reminded me of if y'all have seen Sweeney Todd. When they're going to the beach, they're having that's the style of like swimsuit that they had, and it kind of brought me there. I really don't like this wig, and I understand the ears are like that to accommodate the wig. When she takes the wig off and we finally see what's underneath, I was like, why didn't you do that earlier? That's much better in my opinion. I also think the performance was she was having trouble with some of the props, and it was like really abundantly clear that, I mean, she kept getting her wig caught in the umbrella, and that was kind of a minor thing. But I really do like the look. I think outside of minor performance mishaps, the look overall, I would give like a light T, tepid T.
I'm pretty close with you, Mike, here. I think I'm giving this a very lukewarm tea, and the most ironic part is that not only was it better when the heart-shaped wig came off, but also the physicality of Abhora got better during the critiques and the extermination, which is very odd because that's what she should have done in the challenge itself, like more using her hands and the wigless head with the ears, however like misshaped they could be. It would still work so much better, but yeah, still like a slight tea, coldish.
I didn't mention the performance, and I meant to. I think Abhora was absolutely the worst in this performance out of everyone on stage for me. she got caught. It wasn't just the once. If she had just got tripped up the one time, I would get it. But it happened like 3 different times, and you could see it was clearly the wig. And if she didn't have anything on under the wig, I would agree. But she had something on under the wig. Just take the damn wig off. It's not that hard. So I thought it was a bit at first. Like when they said this year, the walk up, like I thought maybe she was trying to get the wig caught in the prop, and then the wig would come off, and there's the ball cap.
That would have been
That
stunning.
would have been sickening as hell. But no, not what we're doing apparently. So yeah. Moving on to Dollya. Bag. Not only are the sides unfinished, which seem to be their major critique on it, I just think this is really boring. Comparatively, it's a corset. It's a corset with some floaties. The floaties are a nice touch, and I like the neck. The headpiece is cool, but like everything other than from the arms down is just boring to me. So yeah, bag. It's a corset.
Yeah, this was also a bag. I mean, I think again, nice touch with the floaties, but everything else is like kind of missed the mark.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This is the bag for me. That first look, everybody was like, kind of like, oh, I kind of liked that. I didn't like that. I actually didn't. And then when she took it off, the main piece, I mean, we understand what's happening with like the corset piece. It's kind of drooping, and that was an issue. I do like the headpiece. I think the headpiece I think it's cute. It has a cute effect to the overall look. It just is not enough to save the look, unfortunately. It's a bag for me.
Yeah, it's a total big bin bag for me. I kind of enjoyed the pre-reveal look. The thing was she revealed it in a very sloppily, and yeah, what was left after was the ill-fitting corset, like hello Spanky Jackson. That was not the tea, and for me she was hands down the worst in the performance, even more so than Abhora. Yeah, Abhora kept falling and tripping. It was slightly entertaining. Dollya was just turning away from the cameras multiple times. Like I don't know if she forgot the words or whatnot, but yeah, it was very weird. I mean, her dynamic on stage. Yeah, also love only the neck up, and this also slightly sad red bat on her head, but yeah, it's just kind of she's like the mood ring of the mood bat bag.
Not Spanky Jackson catching strays. Oh my god!
Not winner of Drag Race Got Spanky Jackson.
But you do remember which particular runway I'm
I
referring?
do. That's the problem.
Of course I do, but that doesn't mean we throw strays at Spanky Jackson. There are certain people that are off limits on this podcast. Okay,
I adore her. I mean, and spoiler: another
First
person
of
with
all,
much
you have to
better
remember
look.
what you said.
Another person with a much better look also would catch the same straight bullet, but I'll still give her a Babi and hot tea later down.
Sorry, I was like, I was trying to hold in a laugh that entire critique.
I can't believe you, Micha. Okay, moving on. Sigourney. T, the house down, mother. Mother Beaver is here to serve you pure, unadulterated glamour this week. This is the best thing Sigourney's worn all season, in my opinion. And it's a damn bikini, and I don't give a damn. The hair is perfect. The bikini is perfect. We talked about it a few weeks ago during Monsters of Rock. She finds a way to make her tattoos work so well in her drag. Perfect example. The cover up is great. The sunglass, it's perfect. This is a perfect look for this challenge. She's an icon. I love her. This is the hottest tea I've had from Sigourney in 2 years.
It's self-explanatory because it's a beach party. Again, being who Sigourney is, obviously she will serve a bikini like this perfectly. So I can't get mad. And just the way that she just served, just again, I believe Drax said it was just like this is like simplest at best, which is like yes, correct. So
Yeah, it's T for me as well. It's just the aesthetic is perfect for this challenge. I just love like simple. Just because something is simple doesn't mean it can't be effective. And I thought this was very, very effective. Also, I hate that they do this. They leave footage for just the critique portion of the show. Sigourney had like a reveal of her breasts where she opens up the bra by smashing her boobs together, and without touching her top, it just falls off. Like, are you kidding me? That's incredible. So T for me. That I was actually more of kind of a light T, but that kind of put it into hot T range for me. That was great. That was wonderful.
Yeah, for me, this is a very pleasant warm tea with some additional flavors because, yeah, I love the reveal. I love that Boulet is keeping us on our toes and showing some unaired footage during the challenge. I also clocked. That was very funny. And yeah, and also she elevated from the very same basically costume in season 4. So yeah, I'm not mad at this. I love this combo much more than that. Love the color scheme and especially the sunglasses. So yeah. It's tea.
Jaharia.
Ooh. My girl.
I don't want to be mean because I love Jaharia.
We all do.
Yeah. I'm just going to say it this. Not my favorite thing Jaharia has worn this season. And I do not think the criteria of the challenge was necessarily met. So therefore it will be a bag. I cannot be meaner to Jaharia. I am not allowed to be.
Yeah. Again, I wanted to enjoy this because, again, a lot of these outfits, it's a lot better when you're moving. It's just unfortunate. Like, I did agree with the Boulets that this was not good, and I'll just leave it at that because, unfortunately, this was a bag.
Yeah, this is a bag for me as well. What's unfortunate is I like the concept of this. I think it can work. I just think the way we're presented this, as we've seen it here, it just doesn't work. I also kind of agree. This is a more simplistic like runway. The critique from the judge, like you should do a bat instead of a spider. I totally agree with that. Don't overthink this challenge more than it needs to be. It's a vampire. Go bat. Do all the stereotypical stuff. This is a very silly, stupid beach party challenge. So, yeah. I other than that, there's just parts of this. There's not much that I really liked about this look. I love you, Jaharia. I think you're sickening, stunning, doing amazing. Sometimes some weeks you miss. Even the best of them have off weeks.
Oh yeah, as a ring bearer of Jaharia's fan club, this fall really hurt. Yeah, when she just even when she just started walking before she made her reveal. So-called reveal during floor show, let's all agree it was half metamorphosis, like there are plenty of insects who don't do full metamorphosis, like cicadas being one of them. And this was, unfortunately, this was a spider bat cicada situation gone totally wrong. And although she sold the hell out of the performance, as usual, she lip-synced down, boots down, she knew where the camera were. This look was, so unsalvageable. It was kind of gave me the vibe of the challenge she went home in season 6 with her disco shoes, and this is exactly the time for a quotation from Yuri. I don't want to be in any of their shoes, especially in Jaharia's. Yeah, that was. Hate to give her a bag, but just for the look. Of course, not for the performance.
Micha, since you brought up the performance, I should also mention that everyone that is doing this routine, if y'all do the Wednesday moves one more time on this show, I'm gonna lose it. And you know what? It fits the aesthetic. I get it. It was an iconic cultural moment. Find a new reference. I'm gonna turn into Michelle Visage with Marie Antoinette for a minute. Move the fuck on.
Wednesday Addams and things of that ilk.
Okay, you're not dancing with the
Okay,
hands.
to be clear, it's not Wednesday Addams. It is specifically
Yeah.
that.
The Bloody
If I
Mary
see that
dance.
again on this season of Dragula, I'm gonna lose it because I had to see it 3 times already this season. I'm over it. It's done. No more. You can make other Addams Family references. I don't care. Pick a new dance move, please. And that's no shade to this group. They're just the ones that happen to do it this time. Moving on to Disasterina. 8. Lovely.
Swallowed.
Stunning. Thank you for being the mom who brought the mom purse to the beach. No one else did it, and I
Yes.
was like, someone has to, right? Who else is gonna bring the 90 bottles of sunscreen when you really only need one ever? Like, and gonna have like 7 different water bottles packed in there with a couple of blue ice packs. Like it's gonna be Disasterina, apparently. And I like how this outfit really isn't very vampire, to be honest, because I think the thing that people get hung up with on this challenge, we've seen it a couple times, is they either go way too beach or way too Nosferatu vampire-y. But instead, I think this is just a really good bridging of both areas, and it doesn't take too long to get. This is great. This is lovely. I'm so happy you're still here. T.
It's a good 50-50, and I like that a lot. So, yeah, very T. My only one thing I wish the bag was bigger, just like make it more camp.
Make the bag bigger.
Yeah, this is hot tea for me. I love this look. It reminded me of Louisiana Purchase's like pink lesbian vampire look from season 3.
Icon.
Yeah, and I love that look. That's one of my favorite looks in all of Dragula. So that's the
Thanks.
caliber of like what I love from Disasterina here. Yeah, I love the campiness of it. You definitely said it when it's like the vampire mom coming and just like chaperoning the kids at the party. And she brings the sunscreen, she brings the bag, this is so great. This is hot tea for me.
Yeah, it was my second favorite look of the week. I love Brook. Funny you mentioned bridging, because she does give very much vampiric Brigitte Bardot here, exactly on theme, on frontier between 50s and 60s. And also, yeah, if Louisiana Purchase loved being a reaper in her season, especially with pink looks, here Disasterina reaps everything with her fantastic bag. I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed the headpiece reveal. It was so stupid, but so good in the best possible way. The only thing I wish that Blaze not only mentioned during their like dual critiques that she was like so great this week, could have been on top, but that she would actually have been on top. But yeah, that's his.
Oh, we'll talk about the judging when we get to the judging, because I have thoughts. Good. Glad to see that we're all on the same page. Moving on to Priscilla Chambers, or should I say Elvis Chambers? I've called a few people on this podcast on Dragula Elvis before. I believe this is the first time someone has ever intentionally went for Elvis on Dragula. So you know what? Good job, Priscilla. The cigarette floaty was a bit interesting. I don't know if it fully translated for me, but everything else did. I think this is just a really well executed look. Is it really giving me beach? No. Personally, no. Do I see how it could for others? Sure. It's just not for me. I will give this tepid tea, even if she's an icon and I love her. Yeah, tepid tea.
I like this a lot, actually. So, because like when it gives like beach, obviously, like it's Priscilla's interpretation of like what Elvis would wear in a way, but obviously Elvis wouldn't wear like a one piece like this. But beside the point, like I thought this was really fun. Again, the inflatable cigarette's kind of everything to me, so I'm just like, yep, that kind of worked for me. So this was tea. this was tea.
I really, really like this outfit. I will say the inflatable cigarette is kind of the only connection to beach that I can make with this look.
Yeah.
Because I don't think beach when I think Elvis. I love the look, though. This is a stunning look. She looks amazing. I get vampire. I mean, I think a lot of Elvis's style, you can get vampire out of that style as well. So I think that works. It's the beach that kind of isn't quite there. So I'm going to give this a light T. The look is amazing, but I mean, we have a prompt for a reason. And so like, I'm happy to see this look. Maybe it would have worked better on another runway.
I actually don't see those problems you see with it. So for me, it's a very hot day. It's one of my faves of the week. I think that the transformation of his into floaters kind of gave it at least some swimming qualities. And let's face it, the person who allegedly died on a toilet could have easily swum in this. I also thought about how Priscilla said, "Oh my God, of course Elvis is a vampire," but like, yeah, common knowledge, Elvis was a vampire, so that's why I'm doing Elvis. I mean, why
Just
wouldn't
like
she?
Abraham Lincoln was a vampire hunter.
Yeah, but not only do I love the cigarette, but I also adored the inclusion of garlic onto her, which gives her this very unique, by the way, among all other contestants, dual quality of being like both the vampire and the anti-vampire, like the exterminator, the vampire who hates themselves, a bit like rats trying to kill other rats with rat's poison in Rats the Rusical and Drag Race UK. So yeah, this is very subversive and very cool, and especially given that she literally was on fire during her stellar performance, I totally get why she was on top. This is hot tea for me.
Well, I'm glad that we are forming a mixed opinion here. It's nice when we don't always agree. Zavaleta. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I don't get the first part of the look. I get it's a cover up, but like, I don't know if I really like it. But I like that she basically said, "Nah, I'm going as naked as possible for this." I like the prosthetic ears. I like the hair. I think the hair really sells this for me. I don't know if I would have had Zavaleta in the bottom this week, personally. I think it was a bit of a choice, but that's just me. 2 weeks in a row where I think they put Zavaleta in the bottom. I don't want to say undeservedly, because I don't think she was like in the top or anything, but I think she should have been safe this week. That's just me. So I'll give it tepid tea. It's not anything special to me, but I don't hate it by any means.
Yeah, to me, this outfit, I wanted her safe here. But like, I think in the critiques they said that like her cover up should have been like all the way down like to the ground, which I agree with. And then when she said that she changed her outfit as a compromise, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Never do that again.
Something I will say, and I wish I could come up with an idea with this, like with the whole like nude illusion of this, like if this cover up would have been a caftan.
You can never have too much caftan unless you're Honey Mahogany, but you can never have too much caftan.
Honey Mahogany made that mistake.
Unless you're Honey Mahogany, you can never have too much caftan. And also, to be fair, I feel bad for Honey because she literally only brought those 3 caftan looks, and they just happened to be that early in the season. Yeah. Love Honey Mahogany. I want Honey Mahogany back on Drag Race. She's living her best life in politics right now. She's doing fine. She doesn't need it, but like,
yeah.
Honey Mahogany for All Stars 11 or All Stars 12 because we know she's not loving that.
Allegedly. But case in point, like like again, if Zava did like keep the longer cover up, I think it would have like saved her. But this was fine. I'll agree with you. This was very tepid tea, but this wasn't bad, like by any means of the imagination.
For me, this was actually like just solid tea for me. I really liked the nude illusion. I think it was so clever. I think it also worked with going for the more monstrous, like Nosferatu, like vampire race kind of look, the the monstrous kind of look of it. I think it works doing a nude illusion with that concept. The cover up not being fully there is kind of secondary to me because the main look is the nude illusion look. I would not have had Zava in the bottom. I think she was closer to the top for me in my rankings than the bottom. She wasn't in the top for me, but she was top half for me. It's kind of ridiculous she was in the bottom this week. This is tea for me.
Well, I would agree with something, namely that she shouldn't have been in the bottom. I think bottom 4 is ridiculous overall, especially on the week where we could easily have had a top 4 instead. And yeah, got a classic bottom 3 and that stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure she would have been on top personally, especially compared that, Zava and Sigourney are the only two who you could compare literal challenge to challenge performances from season 4 to this. I don't think that Zava actually made it better this time as a performance. The look, it was interesting that this was brought up only during the critiques, that she had to sacrifice some of her reveals or the opulence, the grandiosity for her teammates. And so it begs the question, what was left out? Because when she who should not be named, Astrid, was in her bottom on season 4, we knew damn well what she sacrificed in her look. So yeah, this one is a big question mark and maybe a subject for investigation later on. But as a freelance nudist, each time when it's warm and sunny outside, I salute her for the second half of this look. I mean, that went flawlessly with her performance. So yeah, for me, it's a pretty warm tea. This summery rooibos tea. Yeah, shouldn't have been in the bottom.
Evah Destruction. No, thank you. I don't like it. I'm sorry.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Here's my thing. Okay. This is a really great look. I don't really get beach from it at all. It's a corset. It's a corset with a breastplate, with breast parts at the top. It's a one-piece bathing suit, sure, but it's just not giving bathing. It's not giving beach wear to me as much. I think it's a fine look. I don't think it's bad by any means. I do not think Evah should have been anywhere near the top in this challenge. I think that was crazy. Personally, for me, I think Evah was at best 7th in this challenge for me. I think she was a perfectly fine save. I would have had very different tops than the Boulets this week outside of the winner. I think the winner was the correct winner, but the other two in the top, we'll talk about it.
Ooh, okay.
T, but barely. I'm not a huge fan of this one for Evah. I like Evah a lot. This did not hit the criteria for me in this challenge.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. No, I loved this. Especially during the lip sync part, I was just oh, she is just having fun with this, and just the added parasol of it all, just I just love so much. Because sometimes you would see that on the beach, so I can see why. So yeah, this was tea for me.
If I see someone with a parasol on Dragula, I will only be able to think of, say it with me, Erica Clash. So
well, that's why it didn't reach your high standards of.
She's not Erica Clash. She's not Erica Clash.
Okay, it all makes sense. Now I'm understanding.
Erica Clash for Titans 3.
May I say something bold? This actually was my favorite look of the night. I actually liked the perspective of, there is that person who doesn't want to get wet, who doesn't want to disrobe or anything. So they have a parasol and they're just, strolling on the beach. And I think that was the character that we saw here. I loved the performance from Evah. I also loved, she had a coffin canteen that she brought out, coffin-shaped canteen. It was so camp and hilarious. I loved everything about this. this shape wig we see all the time on Drag Race, but we never really see on Dragula. This kind of like bob shaped wig. I thought it was stunning. I thought it was beautiful. I loved the perspective. This was my favorite of the night. This was hot tea.
I absolutely agree with you, Mike. This was by far my favorite look of the night. I don't care that it was also given a bit of Spanky Jackson because the bodysuit.
not again.
Yeah, that was the second look, but this was much better executed than the first Spanky Jackson of the night. So, also, yeah, Evah was phenomenal during the performance, only like second to Blackberri, and I especially loved the way she fed blood by mouth to her other teammates. That was such a smart boss bitch pelican move, because pelicans do that a lot, like especially in the Legends. And I think that, yeah, this week, Mike, you're totally right. This week is just giving very hot lesbian. I mean, last dinner party and Boy Genius clashing together in vampiric world. Last vampiric dinner party. I loved it so much. And I mean, sorry for all of us like simple immortals who do not associate Parasol with Erica Clash necessarily. Parasol is giving very much bitch. So this is very hot.
Right now. Erica didn't need a floor show to walk up with the parasol. Erica just had one.
But then again, she never was on top during both of her seasons.
That's not true. That is not true. She was high during one challenge on season 2. She was in the top during one challenge on season 2. What?
Yeah, you can say that she was in top during Monsters of Rock. Yeah,
she was because her team won. So she is arbitrarily high. And she was also like the second best on her team in that challenge. She just happened to be in a team with bitch pudding. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Mother bitch.
Shout out. Oh, love her. Shout out to that critique. This is kind of like Boy Genius, like lesbian vampire. Shout out to Boy Genius.
Shout out to Boy Genius, yes.
And to Last Dinner Party, both of them. Love them.
Oh, and the Last Dinner Party, yes. Also because this is a Bob.
It's a fuck yeah Bob!
Oh my gosh.
Oh my lord. It's Cynthia Doll! Okay, so
she did what needed to be done.
Cynthia, I think, is coming for us specifically here, and I know she's not, but I think she's coming for the fandom here because we make fun of her for that damn extraterrestrial hooker look. And you know what? She nailed it. I can't even be mad. This is great. This is so stupid. I love her so much. This is D. I can't even stop laughing. It's so fucking funny.
I remember watching this part vividly, and I was like, what is happening? Why is this everything? And also, Cynthia, you did the damn thing because I would have not have thought of this. Also, another parasol.
Yes.
Still not Erica Clash, but
okay, but she is wearing fucking goggles. Like, count on that, and also like, because like sometimes you would never think of bringing goggles to the beach, and it's just like, okay, just exactly that, and also just these lips.
Yes.
Everything. Oh my god. Like my cheeks hurt from smiling because of how good this is and how funny this is.
Cynthia, you are so stupid for this, and I love it. Oh my gosh, this is hot tea. Everything about this just works for me, especially like in the lore of Cynthia Doll as a whole. It's just so brilliant. Also loved the performance from Cynthia. I also was wondering, like, I remember seeing this look in the trailer when sadly Jaharia was having that moment in the back, and then in the trailer you see somebody in the face. I was like, who is that? It was Cynthia this entire time. So Cynthia, I love this. This is hot tea.
Yeah, it's impossible not to love. I actually had to rewatch specifically her lip sync in the challenge twice to see whether her lips were moving. But I mean, even if she was like randomly trying to move them, that would already been hilarious. That was so good. She would have she was one of the best, hands down, on this runway. This is piping hot tea. I especially love that her boobs are given this gigantic buttons on a sofa. / milk jug / bank of sperm somewhere. Yeah, just holders. Yeah, so good. Hot tea.
Well, we'll come back in a minute because there is more to discuss. But for now, that is all of our looks to talk about currently. Now, before we get into placements and stuff, I will ask: was there anyone that you all felt was actually? Let's start with these questions. Who should JK have used the safety on, if not themselves? Who do you think? Do you think Jay should have used this on Jaharia or on themselves? Because that was their debate.
I'm gonna be honest. I think JK did the right thing to save themselves because they were kind of in my bottom for me. So
same here. I think it was between JK and Jaharia, and if she used it on Jaharia, then she would be in the bottom 3.
Yeah, this was the best thing she could have done, to use it on herself, because like she even said herself, yeah, I did not feel confident in this. So like I agreed with her choice of using it on herself.
I think if she had saved it, I think if she had saved Jaharia, I think that would have put her either in the bottom 4 or one off the bottom 4. I don't think she would have been in the bottom 4 had she used it on anyone else that wasn't in the bottom 4. Because I do think, for the most part, I agree with this bottom 4. I still don't think Zavaleta should have been in the bottom. But but here we are. I don't think it was a bad choice. I think it was a fair choice. And I mean, hell, if you don't know what to do and you have a chance to be safe, be safe. Just be safe.
And that's exactly what JK did. And I give her props for that.
It wasn't as clear cut as with Scylla, but Scylla didn't understand this.
But we get our critiques. First off, we get told that Sigourney, Disasterina, and Cynthia are all safe for the week, and that Jay is, gets sent to the back. Doesn't get told where he would have placed, but Jay's safe as well. And there are other 7 are our tops and the bottoms for the week, and then our top 3 is Blackberri, Evah, and Priscilla. Oh God, it's doing the 2-line thing again.
You can cut Chambers, but it's not.
Respectfully, I disagree.
Fair.
Same.
Fair.
Okay, Mike, who would you have had in the top then?
So I had my top as Blackberri, Evah, and then Disasterina.
Micha, what about you? Would you have the same?
I would actually have a top 4, a top 4, bottom 3 instead of top 3 and bottom 4. Yeah, because Zava had no business being in the bottom. I would actually agree with all the top 3 plus Disasterina, because I think she deserved this spot in the top as well. But
Brandon?
Yeah.
For me, I agreed with Blackberri and Priscilla. I would have replaced Evah with Cynthia.
For myself, I agreed with Blackberri. I would have replaced Evah and Priscilla with Sigourney and Disasterina immediately. And if it was a top 4, Cynthia would have been the next person in my top 4. I think they were I think Sigourney unquestionably was the best overall performer in the lip sync for me, besides Blackberri, of course. And I was like, it's something we don't talk about with Sig, but she has this like allure when she's performing, and it was very captivating, especially regarding the train wreck that was happening around her. So I just think Sig did a really good job. I still didn't care for Eva's look. I even if she did really well in this performance, which she did, it wasn't enough for me to put her in the top, personally. But of course, because this is one of the most obvious winners maybe in the history of Dragula for me. Blackberri wins the challenge this
Yeah.
week.
Yes.
I mean, that was the common thread with all of our tops. So, I mean, there you
Correct.
go.
No one has a problem with this, I would assume. Nobody had a
No.
Yeah, exactly.
By far and away the best performance.
So let's talk about our bottom four. Now, importantly, before we discuss our bottom four, we should mention the critiques that were thrown specifically at Jaharia. Swan got a little mean, I think, personally. I think it went a bit far. Swan saying that Jaharia's performance was a fall from grace. I don't know about that, Swan.
That was a little harsh.
I don't think it
a
was
bit
like,
much.
yeah, I just didn't clock it before Jaharia had like an attack, which we're going to talk about it later. But I mean, I think it was like not perspective fall from grace in the performance of this challenge, but compare it to the 3 weeks before. I think that was what Swan was referring to, like, because she had 3 weeks on top with a win in episode 2, and now it was like, in that sense, it was a fall from grace from like the trajectory, not entirely like.
Yes, but like, there's a better way you can say that. I feel like she could have just been like, this really, like, compared to what you've done the first 3 weeks, this just wasn't up to the same standard. That's all. She could have said it like that, and it would have been fine. And when we see it later, Jaharia is very clearly affected by that comment. So
I think
one of many.
I took it as kind of like Swamp was making like TV, just trying to make a pithy line for the critique. I didn't take it as that much, but I mean, you don't know how these contestants, like, what's their state when you're giving these critiques. So I can understand where Jaharia is like, damn, that was like really harsh, like fall from grace. That's like the epitome of like the worst of the worst in some people's eyes.
And we never got Swan coming back backstage to console any of the contestants, so it was a new one also.
Yeah, like when that happened, I was like, oh wow, like they're like, she actually had like was talking to Jaharia in a way that was just like, yeah, like, I'm sorry that happened, obviously, and at the same time, like, I'm like, these comments are trying to like make you like be better, like, and I was just like, oh wow, like this is like a real moment that we're actually seeing right here.
While we were watching, Jonathan was just like, RuPaul would never. RuPaul would never. Has never. Michelle has once, and it didn't even work out.
And I was going to say, this reminded me a lot of Michelle and Adore. In that conversation, only very clearly Swan was actually apologetic in this conversation, and Michelle was not in any way. Almost to. But yeah, so we find out that our bottom four of Abhora, Dollya, Jaharia, and Zavaleta are up for extermination this week. Note extermination this week. So we're gonna see what happens there. And now it's time to get into the part of the program where we must discuss the Cauldron. But before we do, we'll just quickly touch on it since we kind of danced around it. Jaharia goes backstage. She's like very clearly struggling with her critiques. We get a moment where Swan comes. Who checked on Jaharia first? Somebody checked on Jaharia before Swan did.
Cynthia comes back.
Once again, shout outs to Cynthia Doll for being the only person who seems to be checking on other girlies this season, literally. But Swan comes backstage and has a conversation with Jaharia. And I will say, I don't think everything Swan said was super encouraging here. But Swan does indicate to Jaharia that you've done a really great job. Don't let this get you down. You're doing great. Just keep going. And this is a stumble, but it's not the end. Just keep going. So happily, we can kind of move on from that.
Yeah, I think one thing that was important that I really, really liked was, I mean, Jaharia was like slumped down sitting on the floor, and Swanthala like lied down like in front of her to get to her level. Like, I think that's such a huge thing, just to not be so like grandiose. I think that's why Jonathan was just like, RuPaul would never, because RuPaul would never like lie on the floor with a contestant. But that shows how much that the Boulets genuinely do care about the well-being of, these contestants. And I think that's something that they've done over the years and shown that they are trying to care for the contestants in a way that, let's just say it, like Drag Race doesn't often do. And I think they've really shown that they are committed to that, especially in this situation specifically.
And to add that caveat, like again, the Boulets actually have like talking relationships with the past contestants. Like most of them, yes. But case in point, like this just showed like not only the vulnerability, but also like just say like, hey, this is a moment of like the host like actually cares about who they have on the show. So I love seeing this because it's like it just shows like not only their like the reality like of it all, like even though like some reality can be a bit like manufactured, but this was like genuine reality.
So let's go back into the Cauldron. So we start with what I thought was going to be another reignition of JK's Zavaleta, but Zava just like apologizes. Her and Jay are going to have a conversation. It does not happen on the episode, but says that we can talk about it. I got very heated because I'm very defensive over this situation. It's not fair to you. I want to be able to be professional and see if we can build something from that. But right now, I just, yeah. And Jay's like, I came in here, guns blazing. Like I was going to attack this bitch, but apparently she's okay. We'll see where it goes from here. I don't believe it until I see a firm conclusion on the show.
I mean,
also, it was not about the show because Zava said specifically she basically thought that they would have been great friends in the outer world. So after the show, that was.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I will note there's been a watch party. I forget which episode it was. It was JK, Zavaleta, and Jade Jolie. So they're at least professionally like cordial. So at least there is a professional relationship there because they seem pretty willing to kind of, take playful jabs at each other in that video that I saw.
I mean, also this did film, I think, in April, so it's been some time. So we'll see. I mean, to be quite honest with you, it's not really any of your business if they're like friends or not now. If they choose to share with that, if it gets shared more in upcoming episodes, we'll find out. If not, I'm glad that they seem to have at least developed a professional working relationship where everybody's okay. However, somebody else not going to be given that same grace, really. So we go to round 998,999.2 of the Dollya drama. Raise your hand if you've been victimized by Dollya Black.
Oh my god.
Priscilla.
Yes. Priscilla.
You ate that. I'm so sorry.
And it was very cool also from like, this filmic point of view that JK and Zava basically sorted these things out, and Zava said, I'm sure we're gonna be friends after we're done filming this. And here Priscilla specifically turns to Dollya and says, I'm sure we're never gonna be friends after.
She is shady. Priscilla is shady. She really went on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just got really uncomfortable very quickly. And I will say, to be honest, I don't remember most of what was said before the thing happens. I doubt anyone else really does either. All I can say is
I have no notes.
The first part of this Cauldron, relatively uneventful, other than everyone is once again saying that Dollya is being unprofessional, and you heard it once, you heard it 1,000 times, Dollya. Then I'm going to go ahead and say this again real quick. If you did stick around to this part of the episode and you're like, oh, this hasn't been too bad trigger-wise, this could very well be the triggering moment for some people. So if anything that is like emotional manipulation is something that can trigger you very heavily, I recommend you skip ahead about, I'll say 10 minutes to be safe. And if that's too far, just keep rewinding until the right spot. You'll find it.
We'll have the timestamp.
We'll have the timestamp. So we get a cut to something we haven't seen on Dragula very often, which is instead of watching the competitors, watching the monsters, we're getting wheeled around backstage with production. And apparently cameras are off, but there's a live mic going on with everybody still. It's before they're going back to do something. And Dollya is talking to Zava and says to her, just letting you know, when I said, I don't know what specific thing they're talking about that Dollya said, but when she said something, she said they had threatened to do a welfare check on her. Now, importantly, pretty much any reality TV show in the game nowadays will have psych on standby because this is a high-pressure situation, very clearly. And in certain situations, they need to be available at any time. And at first I'm like, oh, damn, that's some heavy stuff. I didn't realize Dollya was going through that. Apparently, she wasn't. From what we can tell from the edited episode, is all I'm going to say. We then get Drac and Swan backstage letting everyone know that did not happen, that they did not threaten a welfare check on her. That this producer, who is said to be Keeley, I believe, asked if she needed a welfare check due to some of the things that Dollya had been saying. But in reality, they never threatened her with a welfare check. They never said that she was going to get a welfare check. And this really seems like this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back with Dollya for a lot of different things.
Yeah, it was a very surreal segment. I actually watched it a couple of times just so I understood what everybody was alleging happened. So it seems like Dollya was saying, whatever she said about Zava was in response to production, basically saying, from her words, oh, they were threatening a wellness check on me. And so she said a bunch of stuff in response to that. And then production immediately jumps in. And I don't blame production for this. When these contestants are here, they are the responsibility of production to take care of physically and emotionally. So, when someone is throwing around stuff like mental wellness check, that's really, that's a big thing for production. And also, not just on just a human level, but also a legal level. If something were to happen, that really, the production, they could be liable for something if, something gets misconstrued here. So I don't blame them for wanting to nip this in the bud immediately. It did come off like production was really burying Dollya in this segment of kind of you are now sort of using production to manipulate the contestants around you. And I think we saw this from the beginning when they were saying oh, Dollya was kind of trying to snitch on every little thing to production. Swanthala said that and thinking their little intro thing. It was part of the storyline. And now it's just the conclusion here of okay, now you're bringing production into this. And I genuinely thought this was going to be the disqualification moment that they have been, teasing all preseason and this season long. So again, this is what we're given here. I don't want to, clearly Dollya is going through a lot of stress in this situation. I want to give grace where grace is due. It does look like there is a bit of misconstruing of words. I don't know if Dollya is doing that intentionally or if that's even the case, but what we're shown here is that it does look to be that Dollya is using production to kind of explain their words in a frankly dangerous way. I think it's kind of dangerous bringing up this kind of level of manipulation. Not saying that's what happened. This is an edited product, but that is the implication of what's going on with this segment.
Yeah, I'd also like to mention, very importantly here, we've had a few different times where Dollya has talked about their personal struggles, and I don't want to say used it to justify their behavior, but used it to help provide a lids on what their perspective is on things. I really hope that people that are watching this do not take away anything negative from it. Because this really does feel like just a negative situation all the way around. It's uncomfortable to talk about, like, very clearly. It's stressful. So I'm hoping that the monsters in the competition get some bit of, like, we feel validated by this and where we're at now from where we've been standing, as opposed to where we were at coming in to this conversation. Especially when we're talking about saying that to somebody like Zava, who we've seen even on this episode has some struggles with their mental health from time to time. I think this could have went very differently had the Boulets not stepped in when they did. And I think this was just a really negative situation all the way around that was very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Seemed like a lot of stuff, like, kind of like, I guess, boiled up to the point where they had, like, production had to do something. And I'm kind of glad that they did. And you can hear the conversations going on, and it's just like, and especially with Drac, he was like, again, if we're not saying that we don't like you, we're saying that, like, this is a moment that we want to, like, this is a raise of concern. And I'm glad that they were taking that step. I had the opportunity to meet Dollya this past weekend because she did come to DC. She was very lovely. So obviously, like, it wasn't like much of a conversation. It was more so just that I wanted to let her know, like, hey, like I do appreciate, like, love watching you, and then be like, you didn't see half of what is going on. So I want to bring that up as I was like, again, she was going through, like, again, I think she was anticipating this happening. And then on Instagram just earlier, she did say on her story that, like, hey, I see all the messages that you're sending me. Like, I'm really appreciative of all this. She's been taking, like, a break, just, like, responding to some things about this. And I appreciate her just, like, keeping her space, because it's like, this is a lot, like, to take in. So, and I'm glad that she's, like, using that to, like, know, like, hey, this is not the right time to talk about this right now, but I'm just saying, like, I appreciate you, like, bringing up, like, all this is happening. So kudos to Dollya for that.
And something I want to make clear as well, we are not going to jump into the online Dollya bashing that is currently going on.
You stop that. Y'all stop that. Seriously.
Literally, because absolute best case scenario, this is somebody struggling with their mental health and trying to find a place to express their feelings. And worst case scenario, I think it might be a little bit farther than I would be willing to go, but it's somebody using manipulative tactics to try to win money, you know? And it's something we've seen on Survivor, on Big Brother, on pretty much any other reality show. Hell, Matt Hoffman made up a crazy lie that his wife had a life-threatening illness to try to win Big Brother. Okay? We don't admonish Matt Hoffman for that. Everyone loves Matt Hoffman now. But at the time we didn't like him, but now everyone's like, that it's shady, but it was a good move. And I'm not saying that this is okay by any means. I don't want to condone the actions here. Again, the edited portrayal of the actions here. But when it comes to hate training these people, they're going through a very stressful situation that very few other people can fully relate to. Give them a little bit of grace. And that's something that we've struggled with from time to time on the podcast as well, where we jump to conclusions based off of what we see on the episode. And we've done some things of that nature. And it's something we have, as a podcast, tried to do better at. So give them some grace here. Absolute. You don't have to even like Dollya. You can just not get on Twitter and shout your mouth off about it.
Exactly. Like these people are on the show. Let them entertain you, make you feel something on the show. Then when they're off, if you don't care for them, don't interact with them. Like that's it. It's that simple. If you love them, go support them. If you don't like someone, let them do their own thing. They're not on your TV anymore. So I think it's that simple. I really don't understand, especially in the drag fandom. There's this vehement like need to kind of go after people that they don't like. I'm like, you don't need to. One, they get trust me, Dollya's getting enough hate. You don't need to add to that, especially when she's clearly going through, certain struggles, even on the show. That's evident on the show, even when the show's kind of painting her in this light.
Yeah. I will note Dollya does compete in the Extermination, which is basically just a rerun of the gross food eating challenge from season 2 and every other season of Dragula, it feels like. So we're gonna go ahead and say timestamp 1:40:22. That's where you can jump to move on from this conversation. I'll have Logan throw it in the description. So I'm gonna write that down so we don't forget. So importantly though, we do go to the Extermination.
So, another crazy thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
So
Abhora.
we go to the Extermination. We're eating in pairs. Cool. Which I guess they couldn't do a big table this time. Sure.
Eating in pairs.
Everybody's devouring things, different amounts of veracity going on here. Zavaleta opens us up by getting a big decanter of blood and just dumping it all over themselves. Loved that.
Zava's showmanship in this was like amazing. She understood. She's like, it's not how much you eat, it is the performance of what you eat.
Because she screamed at the end also.
Yeah. She was by far the best performance in this.
Dollya mentioning that she's worried that this is all people are going to see of her. Given the context, yeah, I get it. And I think just in general, that would be something that could be concerning for anybody who's on Dragula. You're this deep into you're still relatively early in the season, and you want to be able to show everything you have. Let's talk about Abhora.
God.
Abhora, why did you do this? They literally told you not to. So part of this is that there are other things on the table that are like decorative, that are meant to like engage the audience a little bit, that are not edible. Importantly,
unless you're a bee.
They get told there are things on this table. Don't eat this. When Dragula tells you not to eat something,
you don't do it.
I would wager you shouldn't eat it. Because they have fed people on this show. I'm going to give you a short list very quickly. Maggots, earthworms. We have had various amounts of garlic. We have had varying animal parts. We have had, blood in varying types and varieties. So what I'm getting at is, we have had, again, meat of many different varieties.
Yeah. But also, it's important to know. Go ahead. Sorry.
Importantly, if they tell you not to eat something, maybe don't eat it. Just maybe don't eat it.
Yeah. I was going to say, in these shows, when you see Fear Factor or Dragula or stuff, and they're like, oh, we're eating this animal part. A lot of people think it's raw. It's not raw. These animal parts have been cooked. They've been sterilized. The pig's blood was sterile. There was no risk of what they gave in front of them. Production is not going to put them in harm's way with their health, because then that's production's butt on the line if there's a health issue. And unless I think that was, So I thought at first it was raw meat just out there. And so when Abhora went for it, I was really worried because I was like, oh my gosh, foodborne illness is no joke. That could be you're out, done. So that really freaked me out. I was like, oh my gosh, are you really doing this? It was very metal. It was metal, but that was wild.
So yeah, so we don't know who went home yet because they're doing the stupid Project Runway bullshit of telling us next week. Boo! Stop! It's awful and we hate it. But we can say that we know Abhora may not have went home, but Abhora did go to the emergency room. Apparently, these were fake props. They were not raw meat, thank God. But probably made out of wax, from what we can tell. That are designed to look like raw meat. Production, just don't put things that they can't eat on the table in the future.
Or take it away whenever they're starting to eat it.
Or something,
that part.
you know? Yeah. But we do know Abhora was taken to the ER. As far as I'm seeing on socials, Abhora is still alive, so I'm assuming everything's fine.
Oh, yes. Considering that this was filmed how long ago?
It's filmed in April. Abhora is still posting and doing gigs. We're good. But we don't know who went home yet. They were hinting that they need to get rid of a couple people, so could be more than one going home next week. So before we get into the Hellbound Showdown, I will ask Divas at the table, who is going home this week? And how many people are going home this week? If you had to guess.
I hope it's just Dollya. I think this is kind of the right place for her to go out. Plus, I think with the whole thing with production, I think production's really worried that this drama is getting into a really dark place that I'm putting my production cap on. It's bringing the vibe of the season down significantly. So I think they're just kind of like, let's just wash our hands of this drama and let's, Dollya, it makes sense. She was one of the worst performing this week. And I think in the Extermination, she was my least favorite. She was pretty tepid with her eating of the gross food. So that would be my pick.
Yeah, if there's one pick, then it's Dollya hands down. If two, then unfortunately Dollya and Zava, because last couple of weeks, competition-wise, showed us that the Boulets, for some reason, placed Zava lower than we collectively thought she should have placed, and also maybe all this K drama related to her. Maybe that's also kind of production mindset. So if it's a double elimination, I'm afraid it's Dollya and Zava. If it's single, just Dollya, and everybody's happy. So,
for me, I think it's gonna be a double, and I think Dollya and Zava are gonna go. I don't want it to be because I've actually really enjoyed Zava so far this season. I'm not gonna lie, and you know what? I did say in the cast assessment, if I was enjoying Zavaleta at any point in this competition, I would say it. Zava, I have enjoyed you a lot on this season to this point. But I feel like they might get rid of Dollya and just say, Dollya, we're not going to bring you in for the Hellbound Showdown. And I think they might need to send another person home to compensate for that. So that way they don't move that off the schedule. And you tell me that they wouldn't want to do Zava versus the person who stayed in the Hellbound Showdown. I don't know about that. So I think they might do a double here. They do need to do at least one, probably two by the end of the season. I think this could be a good time to do it, but I don't want them to. So I'm hoping it's just Dollya.
For me, it feels like the writing's on the wall for Dollya. If this is the if this were similar to Escape Play where they had to get rid of Gabby Hanna because of her antics on set, the similar situation with this. So Dollya would be the one to go.
Second time in 2 weeks, Escape the Night has came up on this podcast. And Guts and Glory. This and Guts and Glory. We have talked about Escape the Night. Oh yes. I had a nickel for every time we talked about Escape the Night on the podcast. I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's worth it happening twice.
I mean, I've talked about Escape the Night multiple times, so case in point. But the second person, again, and this is just thinking about this, if the medevac was that serious, I feel like Abhora could be out of here too. Because, again, she was clearly stated, hey, you weren't supposed to eat this. She did anyway. You're in the ER because of it, and that you need to go as well. Because, that's another liability issue of, if you're not going to listen to this, like, about like eating something that you're not supposed to, and it's like,
Yeah, I think I could see that because Dollya, for sure, they're thinking like this is kind of an emotional well-being liability issue, like that's being brought up. But then Abhora, they're like, oh my goodness, we don't need a physical well-being liability like risk here as well. It depends how serious it was because it is on the dime of production because they were the ones who put the product in front of her. So they're the ones who are taking care of her, and it just depends how serious it was. Maybe if she needs to stay in the hospital, that could be them being like, look, we have to continue with filming. We have a schedule, and unfortunately, Abhora is not able to be here for filming, so we're just going to have to disqualify her at this point.
If that's how the disqualification happens this season, by the way, if it's because Abhora got 8 whacks and that's why she gets disqualified, I'm gonna be pissed. And again, I've actually kind of enjoyed this version of Abhora this season of quiet, but we'll throw a quippy one-liner out whenever is appropriate. Also, I didn't want to bring it up because it was really shady, but the line last week of "Isn't it awful how the worst people are the most talented?"
Yes, I remember that.
Damn funny. Yeah. So, are you ready to talk about the Hellbound Showdown, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's.
So starting with Loris, but we do. Importantly, it's not just them walking the floor show. They also just fully do a lip sync for their lives, I suppose. Trademark, but they did a lip sync on their live to Nosferatu Beach Party once again. Laura said the
and
look
with
up.
outfits too.
And with outfits. Laura said the look up. I love the look. I think this looks great. But performance-wise, it was the swim for me. She did the swim. And that was enough for me. I will say, laying out her own towel and then laying down on the towel, that was cute. That was a lovely.
No, I love that part.
That was a great bit. The performance was really bad. Bag for the performance alone. Look-wise, it's T.
No, I agree. This outfit is T, but the performance is bad. So,
yeah, I definitely same critique. I think this kind of matchup with Jade, it was pretty even-handed because this look, we'll talk about Jade's look, is far superior to Jade's look in my opinion. But the performance, like, swapped. I thought Jade's performance was far superior to Loris's. I'll give this a slight T. This look is just so stunning. The performance, there were parts I liked. So the bad doesn't all weigh out the good, all the good. So there's still some good left for slight T.
So T for look, Boston Tea Party for the performance. It kind of drowned.
Busted Tea Party.
Damn, Micha, that's good. And Jade, note that this was the best picture we could grab of Jade in this performance. Yeah,
you're so shady for this, Brook.
What was that?
You're so shady for this, Brook.
Look, it's not my fault. She's mid for the hands here. Abhora.
It's like,
yeah. Yeah, Jade is performing the house down. I think Jade serves on the during the lip sync portion of this. It is not the worst outfit of the week, so I will give Jade that. It's not that much off the worst outfit of the week, but it's not the worst outfit of the week. But I appreciate that she did little wings on the headpiece. I think that's funny. Otherwise, it's not my fave. I'm gonna give her T because I think the lip sync was that good, but the look itself wouldn't be bad by itself.
Yeah, I agree with that because her performance was like really, really, really good. And yeah, the outfit was just like, I see where she was going with this, but at the same time, it was like, this could have been better. Yeah, that's just me though. Yeah, again, T for the performance. Yeah, and bag for the outfit.
I think we're all going to be in agreement for this. One thing I'll note: these sunglasses kind of give me with this picture. It kind of gives me like Matrix vibes. Like it's very like I get shades.
The blue pill.
Yes.
The trans pill, please.
Very that.
Yeah. Icon. Matrix also written by a couple of transgender women. So,
Icon Wachowski sisters.
Yes. But yeah, same as y'all. The performance, amazing. The look, on the bag side.
Yeah, now we know that Boulets in many cases can appreciate performance over look. This look was, it was a look. It would have been in the bottom 3 looks, but the performance-wise, she absolutely ate Loris. Look-wise, love the sunglasses. For the rest, it's kind of best coming out of your head, best coming out of your boobs. What? And that was almost the line addressed to Jade back then in season 5. Just replace bets for hair.
Well, divas, I will say before we get to the permadeath, who did you all think was going to go before we got the actual results?
So here's the thing. Because it was so odd for me because Loris's outfit 8 down and then Jade's performance is 8 down. But what was the criteria of this Hellbound showdown of what was going to happen? So, but if I were to pick, to be honest, Jade would have won me over Loris.
I'm on the fence. I thought they were going to pick Jade to move on and Loris for permadeath.
You tell me a better title for it, Mike.
Mainly because I know the Boulets they want Jade to kind of have more time to shine and show what they have. The thing is though, this sort of segment is where we can see people's looks. And so you kind of want the people who you feel are going to bring the most interesting looks. And I'm sorry, from Jade, I just have not seen that. But from Loris, I have seen that. And so I kind of would have wished that Loris would keep going because there would be some really, really interesting looks down the road that Loris could bring. That maybe we'll see from Jade. She could surprise us, and I would love to see that. But just from track record alone, I not as much faith as I do in Loris, who has brought some really amazing looks this season.
Yeah, I'm very much on the same board as Mike. I think that Loris would have eaten more with looks, but maybe Boulets was so impressed that Jade finally learned the words, especially after Halloween House Party.
Not much. Both of them had lip sync mishaps. Both of them had Nyang Bella levels of lip sync.
No. I'm so sad about Nyang Bella, okay?
Still, so Mike, now she's going to catch you outside as well after me.
She'll get Micha first, and then she's coming for me.
Exactly. Yeah, but actually, at least there were more words that she retained, that it was definitely more watermelon than just swinging teeth, It was in the first episode, so
yeah. I will be 100% honest. I fully had to decide what is more important to this challenge. And also, who do I think did better in the aspect that they lost? And I got to be honest, every time they moved the camera to Loris in this performance, I was like, ew. At least Jade had moments where she sold her look well. I don't know if I can really say that about Loris in this performance. This is God, I hate saying this because I really like Loris. This was Jarvis Hammer levels of bad.
Oh no! Oh no!
At least Jarvis looked good as well. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can now think of 2 chop moments on Dragula lip syncs, which is Loris doing the swim and Jarvis doing this. Doing the lip sync against
That's iconic. How dare you? That's an iconic moment.
Especially for the song called Worldwide Torture. This was the torture.
Justice for Jarvis.
No. Jarvis got justice in that lipstick Jay ate down.
Of course.
But I will be able to say we get a Jade.
Yay. I'm not getting murdered.
And
Lawrence
has experienced permadeath and is out of the competition officially.
Maybe that's why we're not getting any sort of exterminations in the episode, because the last one they've had was Yuri's, and I don't think they can top that.
I mean, this line
Yay.
alone.
I'm not getting murdered.
Unless they send somebody
love
on
you,
the rocket
Yuri.
into
Love
stratosphere.
you.
Yes.
So next week we're gonna find out who went home from the extermination. Did Abhora actually die? She didn't. And who's gonna join Jade next week in the Hellbound Showdown? How many people will join Jade next week in the Hellbound Showdown? Also, just for the record, I saw some of the things in the trailer, right? I know y'all are bringing back the Haunted Holiday Challenge this season. I saw it in the trailer. Where's she at? Where's she at? This was the Halloween week episode. This was the week it was supposed to happen. Where's she at? It better be next week. If it's not next week, I'm gonna be pissed. It's my favorite Dracula challenge. I don't care if it's only happened once. It was iconic, and it led to Chicken Gate. I don't care. So thank you so much for joining us here at the Cup today to talk about this episode of Dragula. Let us know down below in the comments. Who do you think should have won this challenge? Who should have been in the bottom? All of that fun stuff. We'd love to hear from you guys. So thank you so much for being here. You can check out all of our links down below, as well as the link to our audio podcast, our Patreon, and everything else in between. There's also a big red subscribe button. Click it. We are this close to 3,000. We hope to hit it before the end of the year because it would be a lovely little achievement to round us off. But thank you, everyone who's already clicked that button, including now Cynthia Doll, which is wild. Thank you, Cynthia. Big fan. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week. So cheers, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Dash grass, hug a tree.